Hello and welcome to the SportsGrad podcast. My name is Ryan Walker and with me as always is the propeller of careers, Reuben Williams. How are you, mate?
Thank you, Ryan. I'm very well, thank you. I've always been a big fan of aviation, so don't mind that title today.
Just propelling careers in sport.
Happy to do so.
That's essentially your role, isn't it? You just propel careers.
I'm the propeller, you are the engine.
That's kind of what we're doing right now. We're just propelling.
That's it.
Lucky listeners out there, isn't there?
Absolutely.
Well, let's get cracking. Another weird one. If you want to learn more about who we are or what we do, feel free to connect with us on LinkedIn. Or if you want to ask us any questions, join the SportsGrad community. It is absolutely buzzing at the moment. We've got over 200 people involved at the moment, which is massive.
Yep.
With some of the biggest organisations in the world. So lots happening on our SportsGrad community.
Absolutely. And a shout out to those 200 members, some of which we're going to hear from today. Some of them got some incredible stories of how they got their way into the sports industry, which we're going to share in just a sec. But if you do want to get your foot in the door of the sports industry or hire people quickly and easily, or just learn from the best in the world, there really is something for everyone inside. So get involved.
Fantastic. We're going to start today's episode as we usually do with a quick tip to get a job in sport. If you're currently studying or you've finished studying, having a postgrad qualification in sports management on your resume can give you a huge leg up on other potential candidates applying for the same role. So if you want to pump up your resume and get specialised knowledge in sport behaviour, law, marketing, ethics, finance, governance and strategy, take a look at Deakin's Master of Business in Sports Management. It's not one of, but the best one ranked in Australia. So it's actually number one, which is huge.
Incredible.
So check that out. Add a postgrad to your resume, and that is our tip for our episode.
Great propellers, Deakin University.
They propel every one of their students towards jobs in sports. It's very exciting, and thanks to them for all their support.
Yep, that's it. Well, Ryan, today we're sticking with the topic of networking. We know that 80% of jobs in sport live in the hidden job market, who you know is extremely important. Last week we gave you our personal examples of how networking has helped us. So today we're going to share some other examples of students who have been able to benefit from networking so that you can kind of take a leaf out of their book, see how the students are doing it out in the field and create your own career success as these guys have. So we got 5 members who we're going to share the stories of today.
Some big names in this group of 5 as well.
Yeah.
We've done a lot of thinking about what 5 to show in here.
Yep.
Some big names. So I'll let you kick off.
Sure thing. So number 1 comes from Michael Long. Now, Michael Long was a student at Sydney University studying commerce. He is now working in the partnerships team at Cricket New South Wales, where he works very closely with the Sydney Sixers Big Bash team. Now, Michael is a massive Sydney Sixers fan. And back in the day, probably 3-4 years ago, he would go along to every single match.
Yep.
And he loved it so much that he just wanted to, talk to the staff working there. So he would go up and approach the fan engagement officers and just say, hey, what are you doing? And how did you get to this job?
Yep.
And so he got to know the staff there by just approaching them at the match. And down the track, when Michael eventually graduated from Sydney Uni, he saw a role in commercial partnerships come up at Cricket New South Wales, and he got to his first round interview. And at the interview was this lady called Annabelle, who he had met a number of times at the matches because he'd gone up and approached her.
Nice.
And Annabelle was able to give him a glowing referee, put him through to the second round, and he is now living out his dream job at the Sydney Sixers because he met the staff at the game, which is incredible.
Pays to just say hello to the staff, hey?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you?
Exactly.
I've got a good one. Lockie Crofts, there's no S on the end of his name. He's a great guy, a great member of ours. We've had some great conversation with him. He met our good friend Nathan Peroni on one of our SportsGrad speed networking nights, if I can say it correctly. And what happened was Nathan knew of a role that was coming up at the AFL. And purely out of, chatting to Lockie and saying, like, what do you want to do? Like, what organizations would you love to work for? Nath was able to tell him about this role coming up. So then after the speed networking night, they caught up again, had a chat, and then little do we know, Locke went for the role and managed to get it. So again, it's kind of a sliding doors moment. Like, if they hadn't have met and hadn't have shared what they wanted to do, Locke probably wouldn't have seen that job was available, and Nath wouldn't have known that he wanted to have a crack at that role.
Yeah.
So again, there we go.
Well, I remember chatting with Locke about this, and the only reason why he attended the speed networking that night was because his plans with his girlfriend fell through. I think something happened at work that meant Lachlan's girlfriend had to stay back or whatever. So Lachlan's time freed up, and he was like, you know what, I'm going to jump on the members only meet up tonight.
Yeah.
Members only speed networking night. And just by chance, he's made it to the event. And then just by chance, he's been paired with Nathan, and now he's at the AFL. So incredible.
One of those times when plans with the girlfriend, when they fall through, it's actually a great thing.
Yeah.
Of course, that would suck. So it's fantastic. We love
Exactly.
that.
Next one I've got comes from Bianca Litchfield. Bianca is one of our very early members. She was doing a postgrad course in sports science at Deakin University, and she's now a performance analyst at the Collingwood Football Club, working across their AFLW teams and their Super Netball teams as well. Now, the way that Bianca got this job was because through listening to this podcast, she heard about the Sports Tech World Series conference. You might recall back in November 2020, we had a bunch of their guest speakers come onto our podcast, talk about the conference at the same time. Bianca learned about the conference, bought a ticket, and then at the virtual conference in one of the breakout rooms, met her future boss-to-be. They got chatting. They liked the look of Bianca and thought, you know what, let's just bring her on. And so they gave her a job without too much process in between. So well done, Bianca, for actually going the extra mile to attend that conference and then have a really great conversation with the hiring manager.
I love that. It's amazing how many times it just, we like, you sound great. Let's just bring you in.
Yeah.
It's easy as that.
Exactly right.
We love that. I got another one, Ellen Adams, who superstar member, absolutely lovely. She attended one of the SportsGrad meetups in Melbourne, and there she met Shannon Gove, who is a superstar, great friend of the podcast from Rosterfire. And obviously she just shared what she was up to, was looking for an opportunity, and Shannon actually knew of an opportunity that's coming up at Ironman. So pretty much like from the meetup, from that conversation, they connected again, and Shannon sent through some information. Ellen just went and had a go, and there you go. She wouldn't have known it was there, was able to get through and get that role. So again, we love sliding doors moments.
That's it. The more people you know, the more people can send you jobs. That what's going on. More people think of you that you might be suited for a particular role.
Yeah, and it's amazing how many people know of roles that are currently out there that you don't. Like a lot of people know a lot of people, so it's easy.
Yeah,
it's easy as that.
Absolutely. Finally, I got one more, and this comes from Erin Mason and Mira, who are now working at Engage RM. Both of them were Deakin Sport Management and Sports Science students, and now have gone on to work with Engage RM, who are a CRM for sport. So the way that this happened was Erin and Mira both rocked up to one of our members-only webinars where Ned Coaten, the CEO, presented all about data and analytics and technology in sport.
That was awesome.
That was incredible.
I remember that.
Ned's an incredible guy. He spent, 6-7 years as the chairman of Basketball Australia and do an incredible job running Engage RM. And he said to us, hey, I want to do a webinar. I want to talk about technology in sport, but I also want to recruit a few people for our team. And off the back of that presentation, he engaged with Erin and Mira. They got to know Ned a bit better after that webinar, and Ned hired them very quickly soon after that. So through attending the right webinar and following up with the guest speaker, Erin and Mira have been able to land jobs in sport, which is absolutely awesome.
Fantastic. 5 great examples there of, how networking has quite literally propelled members and students' careers,
Mm.
basically, just from meeting people and introducing yourself.
That's it. So if you're at a match, go say hi to the people working. If you're on a speed networking night, attend more often than not.
Yeah.
If you can get to a conference, talk to everyone there or a meetup, and make sure you follow up like Erin and Mira.
Brilliant. All right, we'll wrap it up there. Find us on LinkedIn, plus be sure to jump into the SportsGrad community. We'd love to chat with you on there. You can find a link to do so in our show notes. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time.